Dear students of higher secondary first year, once again I welcome you in the online class of Department of Political Science. I am Dr. Abdul Mannan Mazumder. So you can remember in the first day of our class, or in the first class, we raised or we picked up certain questions to be discussed throughout this chapter, and by discussing one by one we have come towards the end of the chapter. Out of the 6 questions we have discussed 5. Now we are left with only one question. In the last class we discussed how the Constitution of India was made, and now we have already discussed 5 questions. We are left with only one question, and that is, what are the sources of the Constitution of India? So in today's class we will discuss what are the sources of the Constitution of India, and this is considered to be a very important question from the viewpoint of your examination. So without wasting much time, I am directly coming to this topic, that is the sources of the Constitution of India. Now, sources, in discussing the sources of the Constitution of India, there may be so many sources of the Constitution of India, but mainly we find that there are 5 main sources of the Constitution of India. We can identify 5 main sources of the Constitution of India, and these are Government of India Acts number 1, number 2, impact of other constitutions, that is impact of the constitution of other countries. Number 3, constitutional amendments. Number 4, judicial decisions and judicial review. And number 5, commentaries of constitutional experts. So in this way we are getting 5 main sources of the Constitution of India. Number 1, Government of India Acts. Number 2, impact of other constitutions. Number 3, constitutional amendments. Number 4, judicial decisions and judicial review. And number 5, your commentaries of constitutional experts. So let us discuss one by one. First one is Government of India Acts. Government of India Acts are the acts which are being passed when India was under the British rule. The British Parliament passed the laws for administering the India, for administering India, and these acts are known as Government of India Acts. Again I am saying, Government of India Acts means the acts or laws passed by the British Parliament for the purpose of administering India. So mainly 3 Government of India Acts: Government of India Act 1909, Government of India Act 1919, and Government of India Act 1935, and mainly last one, that is Government of India Act 1935. These are considered to be very important sources of the Constitution. If you properly study the Constitution, you will, in many places you will find the direct copy of the text of Government of India Act 1935. So that is why many experts commented that the Constitution of India is a glorified version of Act of 1935. And another Indian writer said that the Constitution of India, his name is N. Srinivasan. N. Srinivasan says that both in language and substance, the Constitution of India is a close copy of the Act of 1935. So in this sense we say that the Government of India Acts were the very important sources of the Constitution of India, and mainly we say that Government of India Act 1935. Our founding fathers of the Constitution of India were very much influenced by the Government of India Acts, that is the acts passed by the British Parliament to administer India. So first source of the our constitution is the Government of India Acts. Number 2, impact of other constitutions, that is the impact of the constitutions of other countries. Now if you study the constitution, you will see the impact of many other constitutions. Impact of many other constitutions means impact of British constitution, impact of USA constitution. For example, parliamentary government, principle of parliamentary government, it was borrowed from the British constitution. Now again, federal principle was followed from the US constitution. Then directive principles, the pattern of directive principle was followed from the Irish constitution. Number 4, that unitarian federalism, that is quasi-federal character of the constitution, it was followed from the Canadian constitution. Now emergency provisions, these were followed from the Weimar constitution of Germany. So in this way, in our constitution we find the impact of many other constitutions, impact of many other constitutions, impact of constitutions of many other countries of the world. So second source of our constitution is the impact of the constitution of other countries, many other countries. Now the third one is constitutional amendments. From time to time we see that the Constitution of India is being amended, and when an amendment is made, that becomes the principle of the constitution, that become a constitutional principle once an amendment is done. So in this way, the constitutional amendments help in the growth of the constitution and they become the sources of the constitution. I am again saying how constitutional amendments are the sources of the constitution. When constitutional amendments are being made, they automatically become the constitutional principles, and thereby they help in the growth of the constitution and growth and development of the constitution. And in this way, they are also being considered, that is the constitutional amendments are also being considered as sources of the constitution. Next, judicial decisions and judicial review. The pronouncements made by judiciary, mainly the higher judiciary, or we can say mainly the Supreme Court of India, the pronouncements of the highest judiciary of the country or the higher judiciary, that is which are called judicial decisions, or the review made by the highest judiciary, by the Supreme Court or the High Courts, these also become the constitutional principles. Once a constitutional judgment is being passed by the Supreme Court, this becomes a constitutional principle. Once a judicial review is being done by the Supreme Court, it also becomes the constitutional principle. So in this way, the judicial decisions and judicial review also contribute to the growth of the constitution, and in this way they become the sources of the Constitution of India. Now let us come to the last one. Last one is commentaries of constitutional experts. Commentaries of constitutional experts, how it becomes the sources of constitution, how the commentaries of constitutional experts become the sources of the constitution. Now we see that sometimes there are some difficult cases in which there is no constitutional rule is present. So in those cases, while pronouncing the judgment, the judges seek for advice of the constitutional experts, and in many cases the views of the constitutional experts, these are being accepted by the judges. So in this way, the views of the constitutional experts also become the constitutional principles. So in this sense, the views of the constitutional experts are also considered to be one of the important sources of the Constitution of India. I am again saying, sometimes the judges accept the views of the constitutional experts in giving their judgments, and in this way the views of the constitutional experts also become constitutional principles and help the growth and development of the constitution. And in this sense, the commentaries or views of the constitutional experts or their writings also become an important source of the Constitution of India. So we have discussed the 5 main sources of the Constitution of India. Number 1 is Government of India Acts. Number 2 is impact of other constitutions. Number 3, constitutional amendments. Number 4, judicial decisions and judicial review. And number 5 is commentaries by constitutional experts or jurists. So if there is a question on the sources of the Constitution of India, you make these 5 headlines and just briefly explain these headings, these 5 headings. I think that will be enough for you at this level. So I think this much is enough for today. We will meet in another class next time. Thank you.